Okay, Namaskar Guruji.
Namaste.
Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. So, before I begin, I'm very, very pleased that everyone is on board here. And this has been a very sort of a long-winded journey. And I have to thank Guruji Pandit Sanjay Rath for doing all what he has done. And for the past 8 years or so, I've known him. For those of you who don't know him at all or have have gone through some, like I was talking to some people earlier and they said they've never done anything with him other than just accessed his books. So to give you a background is he comes from a very esteemed family from Balabhadrapur, which is in Sasanpuri in Orissa, and one of the great Brahmin families with a great parampara of astrology and Jyotish, Vedanga Jyotish. His grandfather Kashinath Rath was Jagannath Rath was very esteemed astrologer, as well as he studied with his uncle Kashinath Rath. So, and was all in tradition of Sri Achyutananda Das, which is one of the Panchashaka Sakha from the tradition of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now, he needs no introduction. So, this makes me think that, the quality of Jyotish is not just about Jyotish and the mundane, like about our material sort of like, when will I get married, when will I get rich, and all of that. I think the beauty about this tradition, this parampara, and especially what Guruji has brought forward in the past few years is that it is extremely and beautifully integrated. It is so well integrated that it is suddenly from like 15 years ago, where I was just reading computer books and editing software and things like that. Of course, I had an interest in astrology, but it was predominantly Western. I have now reading the Puranas and the Upanishads and a course in Vedanta. So in a way, I think that has been instrumental, and that is the beauty and the sort of the talent of a great teacher. And the words which I will always remember of Panditji Sanjay Rathji is that we have the blood of the rishis in our veins. And that to me is like a game changer concept, because what that means is that we all have the ability to access that divine knowledge, come what may come, whether it comes in Tantra, Yantra, Ayurvedic, or is it aromatherapy, herbalism, anything and everything is valid because it is a system of knowledge. And it all sort of gears us towards a great learning, and that is the key thing that I want to bring forth through the divination webinars going forward. So in a way, I think, and the other great thing about my Guruji is the fact that he is he's integrated all not just the Vedanga Jyotish part of it, but also the pranayama, the mudras, the whole thing about mantra shastra, the sound theory, which is immense in Vedas. I mean, we can't get away from the sound. It's sort of primordial, fundamental. So and so this is the clincher, the integrated, the holistic approach towards the Rig Vedas, to Jyotish, to the grammar of Sanskrit, to actual Sanskrit, and to the mantra chants. So in a way, I think it's everything and everything, all encompassing. And that is what I want to bring forth to everyone. So it doesn't matter whether you are on some kind of, and where you are at in your learning or spiritual journey, it will ultimately lead you to some stuff to do with knowing oneself and creating a great inner space where one can access some of the divinatory ways to know ourselves better. And that really is, for me, the key to all sorts of learning. And that has been my instrumental driving force in bringing forth divination webinars. I do come, I reside in London, and 10 years ago, approximately, or a little less, I met Guruji, and I'm enrolled into all of his courses. So this gives me a great pleasure to bring all this system of knowledge together. And going forward, I would like to see more and more, authenticity of knowledge coming through, because there's so much of clutter currently going on, and people are looking for answers. And so I would like to bring, teachers and absolutely who are authentic in their teaching skills and in their depth of knowledge. And so now, Guruji, do you want to? And yes, one final thing, because we are like initially starting off, so we may have a few hiccups here and there. So please bear with us. And Theo is instrumental in helping me out, and we are all sort of. He also is with one of our shishyas with Guruji, and so it would be sort of helpful if you guys were to be just a little bit more patient with us, and thank you very, very much for the support. I think without Guruji and your support and the keen interest in learning, we would not be here. So thank you, Guruji, and over to you.
Thank you very much. You just have to make me the organizer.
Okay.
Go over, right click on that, and you can do that. Yep. I think it's happened. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's nice. So first things first, I will go to settings, and I need to can you see my 1 minute? Give me a minute with this. I'm just trying to figure out what this is it. Share my screen, and I need to put the video off. That's important. So everybody should be able to see my screen right now, right?
Yes, Guruji.
Excellent. And we are going to start with some slides. We do have ample time, and so before I start, normally I do a simple Guru mantra, which is very traditional, and it is good for us to do a mantra so that our minds can get focused. So I will be saying this mantra. If you could close your eyes and take off your slippers, please, and please chant with me. Om Gurave Namah. 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 Normally we say this mantra 12 times. The advantage of saying it 12 times is basically the 12 signs. So basically in every sign we are seeking the Guru. So today's topic is yogas due to animals in Jyotish. So basically we are using Jyotish, and how and what role do animals play in giving us yogas? Now, before we enter the Jyotish part, we need to study something which is common to all Vedic learning, which is Srishti. If you look at any book, Bhagavad Puran, Shiva Mahapuran, any traditional, any of the Puranas, any Mahabharata, there is always it always starts with Srishti and then goes out expanding into the subject area. The reason is that whatever happens, the flow is right from the beginning so that everything gets linked up. As Sonal was beautifully explaining, that in our tradition, the most important thing is to be able to connect everything. If we cannot connect everything, then we are really not seeing that matrix. That matrix is very important. And in order to see that, we need to connect. Okay, so we need to realize that we are not the only occupants of planet Earth. Other plants, animals share this planet with us. So plants are also living beings. They are Jivatma. Animals are also Jivatma. And all these living beings are sharing this planet Earth with us. They have also come here to finish their karmas. I mean, plants, you will be wondering that do they really have karmas like animals? Come on. Animals, yes, we can understand. But what about plants? Do the plants have souls? They do. And do these souls experience their karmas? They do. They have to stand naked in one spot on one leg for God knows how many years, hundreds of years sometimes. And that is their karma. They burn a lot of karma by doing that. So we go into the birth and the creation. All birth happens because of the Rajas Guna of Brahma. You see, Brahma is the creator. But Brahma by himself is too busy. He would rather create the Devatas. He goes creating Manasaputras, that is, this mind-born sons, what they call, English translation. Manasaputras, that means that those children who are coming from the energy of the mind, or who are giving minds, who can create mind, because if I have something, then only I can give it. So these are called Prajapatis. Praja means citizens, and Pati is the Lord. So their job is to populate places. These Prajapatis go around populating places. So basically, they act on behalf of Brahma. They have the energy of Brahma, and because they are Manasaputras, they can do this. They can give us, see, you have a mind, I have a mind. And how could we have a mind if our creator himself did not have a mind? So he realized we tend to make things on the basis of what we have. So these Prajapatis, 10 of them, there were 10 of them who created human beings and all other creatures. These Manasaputras, the picture on your right hand side is one of them, called Daksha Prajapati. He is one of the 10 Manasaputras and has been tasked by Brahma. They have been tasked by Brahma to populate the worlds. Whereas Brahma is very busy creating such Prajapatis as well as creating the Devatas, which is much more serious work. There he can't make so many mistakes. He does make mistakes. So every creation always has a flaw. Keep that in mind. No matter how good you are, no matter how good the creation, you see, when you make something, there is always a flaw in that. It is the flaw in that creation that limits its longevity as far as Earth is concerned. Unless the flaw is there, we would be living for perpetuity. Why do we die? We die because there is a flaw built into the system, and that is called Lagna Dosha. Now, this Rajas Guna is giving birth. Now, Rajas has two channels basically. One I call the so green channel, and the other I call the blue channel, sky blue actually, the water blue. So the water channel called the Jala channel is basically more predominant, stronger in the animal kingdom. There are two kingdoms. We can divide the entire creation of God into two kingdoms, the plant kingdom and the animal kingdom. In the plant kingdom, the Prithvi Tattva, is more dominant. Because of the dominance of the Prithvi Tattva, these plants get fixed to the earth. The gravity holds them. They are grounded, if I can use the word. They are totally grounded because of a dominance of Prithvi Tattva. So they can't move around. Whereas animals have about 25%, like human beings, 25% Prithvi, 75% Jala. So by volume, our bodies are 75% water and 25% solid. Because of that, we have mobility. Why? Because Jala, one of the important qualities of Jala is its fluidity. They are fluids. They can move. Water flows. Liquid, if you drop some liquid, even if it is viscous, it does flow, right? If you were to drop ghee, the flow may not be as much as you drop water, it flows more easily. So more viscous, the flow is less. Why? So what is viscosity in Jala Tattva? Viscosity is the amount of Prithvi. So a liquid having more viscosity has more Prithvi. So within the animal kingdom also, we have animals that can move faster and some animals that move more slowly. So animals that move faster definitely have more Jala than animals that move slowly. Take a tortoise. A tortoise is so slow, he can't run. Whereas if you look at a cheetah or you look at an antelope, it flies like the wind. So obviously the antelope has much more Jala than a tortoise. In this manner, even within the animal kingdom, there is differentiation on the basis of these two final body elements. Your body is basically made up of two principal dominant elements. The other, see, it's all Pancha Tattva is there. There is no denial to that. But what is dominating? Prithvi, the solid element, is dominating the body. You can feel your body. You can feel your bones. That's a solid element in your body, your bones, and they are heavy. The heaviest part of your body is the bone. And that is what makes you tired. Otherwise, why do you get tired? Water flows down the Himalayas and goes right up to Calcutta. That water doesn't get tired. So how do you get tired? Because within you, there is Prithvi, those heavy bones, those muscles, they all carry weight. You got to move that weight around. So we are clear that it is this Jala Tattva in an animal that defines its speed. So and plant kingdom is coming largely because of more Prithvi, animals more Jala. We are clear on that. Good. Now let's take a look at how these plants were created. Plants populated the earth. The first to populate earth were the plants. That's what the Shastra says. And what this Prajapatis did, you know, these are nakshatras. When you look up at the night sky, you can see so many stars. And these stars in the night sky are called Tara. These Tara have light coming. So the souls that are there within the plants are not the same as the souls for animals. These souls for the plants, they come from the nakshatras, those stars in the sky. And taking the light of the nakshatra, the Prajapati populated earth with plants. So all these plants were from the stars which was there in the what we call the nakshatra mandala. And these then, to understand and study them, the rishis grouped them into 27 nakshatra or 27 groups. Simply speaking, we can say that there are 27 plant families. Principally, based upon this system, there are 27 plant families. And some may say, no, there are 28 nakshatras. Yes, there are 28. But that 28 nakshatra mandala is applicable to the spiritual plane, which means there is one additional tree which is there in the spiritual plane, which is not there in the material world. And that tree is called the Kalpa Vriksha. Okay? So did you understand? This 28th is the Kalpa Vriksha. And the remaining are, so a good study will be when you start learning Jyotish, one thing you should definitely do, even if you use it or you don't use it as an exercise, you should try to map trees around you to the nakshatras and at least try to find out. I'm born in Satabhishaj Nakshatra. Okay, took the trouble of finding out that my Janma Nakshatra is associated with a tree called the Kadamba. And that tree was the tree under which Lord Krishna played as a child. So there are so many things. We connect. We connect. If you have to start making the connections with with planet Earth, I think you should be starting with the trees. These have more of Prithvi and less of Jala. See, without Jala, nobody can survive. Nobody can survive. Why is that so? Because Jala is what moves inside us, and food has to be moved continuously. Those molecules inside us have to be supplied food. What is called Rai, in Sanskrit, it's called Rai. They have to be supplied oxygen, which is called Prana. So oxygen and food, which is prana and rai, are supplied by the blood to these, and blood has to move. Blood is the Jala Tattva. So, but because of Prithvi dominance, they were fixed to the earth just as the stars are fixed to the sky. You see the logic over here. Why did they take the light of the stars? Because the stars are fixed in the sky, so also these trees and plants are fixed on earth. The logic is very clear. Nakshatra Mandala, I think that is suffice for this slide. And you see, this bija was Hreem. The sound that came down to populate this entire planet Earth was Hreem. And it came to Bhu. Bhu is Earth, Bhuloka, Bhu. It was Hreem that established the plants in Bhuloka, and this establishment in Bhuloka was done with Lam. Lam was the sound. So you see, with Lam Bija, this Bhuloka was populated. Lam is planting. You are planting with Lam. So Lam, everything, every soul, when it comes to Bhuloka, the planting has to be done. You got to be planted. See, I was born in a place called Sambalpur. You probably are born in a place called New York. Maybe somebody is born. So we were planted over there. Get the idea? So similarly, the trees are planted, the seed is planted, and then it sprouts after some time. So Lam is what plants the seed in Bhuloka. So Bhu Bija is Lam. Bhu is also called Prithvi Tattva. Bhu Bija is Lam. Okay. And what was the energy with which it was planted? Hreem. So you want to find out, who am I? How do you find out who you are? It is this sound, Hreem, Hreem, Hreem. You can say it fast, like a kid. Hreem, 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 Hreem. It sounds funny. I mean, at least at my age. So I will do it more slowly. Hreem, Hreem. But if you do it very, very slow, Hreem, Hreem. I'm saying Hari. Interesting. So Hreem becomes Hari. When I keep chanting that, I get to know who I am. Who am I? Because I am nothing but this seed that was planted on this ground by this energy called Hreem, which got me from somewhere. You too are a seed, which is Lam, which was planted in Bhuloka with Hreem. All of us are Lam seeds, which were planted in Bhuloka with Hreem. So therefore, Hreem must be what we call Devi Pranava, the sound or the sound of the mother, the root sound of the mother. Because with that, She planted us in Bhuloka. Not you and me, also the plants. Don't forget that. All of us, there is no difference. And so the only way we can get to know ourselves is when we do the Harim. Now, various animals filled earth. So once the plants were there, then gradually one by one the animals came. They started living over there. The animals were created in a different way, taking the light of the Tara Graha. Now, the last time it was Tara, now it is Tara Graha. In the Rashi, various animals were created by the Prajapati. So basically, what did they do? The Tara Graha are the 5 planets, are those planets that look like stars. Tara means they are stars. If you look at the night sky, if you look at Venus in the night sky, or its brightest star in the sky. If you look at Mars, it is like a reddish dot in the sky. Sometimes you can glow with a lot of anger. So that's why red is supposed to be the color of anger. Halt, stop. That is, the color comes from the color of the planet in the sky when we see it. So these are taras. They are actually stars. If you look at it, it's like stars in the sky. But these stars are moving. So they are mobile. They are like animals. They can represent the animals. Exactly, because animals are not like the other stars in the sky, which were stationary. Plants are those other stars. And these stars which are moving about are the animals. So therefore, the difference being that they are visibly mobile. See the word. They are visibly mobile. You can see them walking around. When you step out, I mean, not now, we got COVID now, but when you step out, go on the roads, you can see people walking around. You can see a dog probably running in India, may not be in America. Yeah, and you see even a cow on the road sometimes walking around. So the point is, all these animals you can see are walking around, just like those planets in the sky that are walking around. But we are only interested in the visible planets because I can see a cow. If I can see a cow, I can see a human being, then also I should be able to see those stars. If I can't see them, then they are other things, but they are not in Jyotish right now. Right now, we are only interested in animals in the planet. Okay? Visible. Keep that in mind. The catchword is visibly mobile. These visibly mobile graha are Jupiter, Saturn, Mars, Venus, and Mercury. So these 5 planets are visible, Tara graha. So from these 5 planets that are ruling the 5 tattvas, Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Jala, and Prithvi. Now you need to study these tattvas a little more. You need to sort of understand them rather than just know them. Okay? And taking light from these planets, they created those animals. Different compositions gave different abilities, shapes, and sizes. So when we look at the tattvas are different in different creatures. And you see, so this time they changed the sound because they had to have more fluidity. So the sound that was used was shreem. Shreem. With shreem, they created these animals. All the animals were created with shreem. All of them. And the energy basically was at the Bhuvaloka level. Now, Bhuvaloka has got called the Vambija or Jala Tattva dominance. So all the animals are basically strongly connected with the Swadhisthana Chakra. Swadhisthana Chakra is the place which maps into the Bhuvaloka. You can see it's a 6-pointed star, whereas previously Bhuloka was a square. Here Bhuvaloka is a 6-pointed star and Vambija is there, and all animals are connected over there to this Swadhisthana Chakra, which is actually ruled by Kamadeva. So for these animals, what is the purpose of coming here? I mean, think about it. What is the purpose of an animal? Why would a soul incarnate as a dog or a cat or a bear or an elephant? I mean, what is the purpose? The purpose is to experience and respect that tattva, the dominant tattva. And also, because Kamadeva is ruling this chakra, these animals are complete and totally in control of Kamadeva. So Kamadeva has 100% control over the animals. Animals cannot in any way say no to reproduction when Kamadeva fires his arrows. So this is the animals, you see. That's the problem with animals. The problem with animals is when Kamadeva's arrows fly, they can say no. They can't say no. They just have to comply. And that's why they have to reproduce and keep repopulating so that the work of the Prajapatis goes on. Well, remember that these animals come from the Rashi chart. And that is the reason why the Rashi chart is also called the zodiac, from the word zoo, meaning animals. So even Western astrology knew this concept. You see, what I'm trying to tell you all, that somehow 500 years back, everybody, be it the Hellenistic astrologers of Greece or the Vedic astrologers of India, we all shared this knowledge. But 500 years down the line, somewhere a vacuum has been created. And these fundamental things, which was taken for granted, seem to be forgotten. So it is very obvious that animals are actually totally controlled by Kamadeva. That is beyond doubt. Now, now after having lived many lives as plants, and then you got upgraded to an animal and lived many lives as animals, then the soul must have a higher experience, because ultimately the soul has to go up and up and up until he gets moksha, right? He has to go up along the things, and normally this happens through many cycles of lifetimes as we go up in stages. And therefore the Prajapatis needed to create a different kind of a being which is closer to the devas and above those animals. So you see, at the Mooladhara, we can map all the planets are connected, all the plants are connected at the Mooladhara. Mooladhara means root, Mula means root. And recently science has also confirmed that the plants communicate to each other through the roots. If one plant is dying and the other plants are around it, they communicate, they talk to each other through the roots, and they push food towards the dying plant. They protect their kind. Similarly with animals, there is some kind of a communication. We don't understand that now because somehow we seem to have forgotten it. But then he created human beings, taking the two lights of the sky. There are two very bright lights in the sky, absolutely bright. One is the sun and one is the moon. And he took the light from the sun and created man, and the whiteness of the moon he took to create the woman. So man was created from the fire of the sunlight and the woman from the whiteness of the moonlight. So there is a fundamental difference between man and woman on the basis of the root of creation. Man is created from the fire of the sunlight, because he is created from the fire of the sunlight because of his Agni, higher Agni, whereas woman is created from the whiteness of the moonlight, higher Jala. Since the woman has the higher Jala, she will have the power of procreation. She can give birth to babies. She can nurture a baby. Man can't do that. Human beings came through Agni Tattva. You see this? This 8-pointed star is called the Swargaloka, or what we call the Manipura Chakra, the navel, the Nabhi. The navel is the most important part of the human being. It is over here that the human being's entire energy of the sun or the moon came in through the mother, through what we call the umbilicus. And this Agni Tattva, a dominance of the Agni Tattva, because we have a lot more light, lot more light than what the animals have or what the plants have. So obviously we are way superior to the animals and to the plants. Now you understand why. Man is fundamentally created from the energy of Manipura. Therefore, he is superior. And technically his controlling Devata, I have not shown here, is actually Indra Deva. Indra Deva is his controlling Devata. And Indra controls them. You know, there are these 8 directions. You can see the 8 petals. So Indra and the Dikpalas are all sitting around these 8 petals. The Agni sound is Ram. So man was created from Swa or Swarga, and with the Ram Bija of Agni, he came down. So whether it is the Egyptians, they looked at the sun and they folded their hands and said Ra, or the Vedic Indians who looked at the sun, folded their hands and said Ram. How much of a difference is there between these two sounds? We said Ram, they said they said Ra, and the Romans, they said Rome. Did you know that the sound Rome is Gayatri Bija? If you keep saying Rome, 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 it's like doing the Gayatri mantra. So it's very interesting, huh? So for a man, his manliness or his manhood is coming from the sun. For a woman, her feminine nature is coming from the moon. And that is the objective. They have to grow up to be this. You can see in this nice little picture out here, there's a grown-up man and there's a lady and they are partners. The sun is from the sun is what created the man, and the moon. See, Manu is the original Manushya template. Human beings were created with this template of Manu. That's why we are called Manushya. Sun and moon have 2 arms, 3 eyes ruled by the sun, moon, and Agni. The light of Agni is in the forehead. This is very, very important. The sun and moon are the 2 eyes, right eye and left eye. So the right eye is what you are. What is the dominant eye? The dominant eye is the right eye. So for men, the sun must rule the right eye and moon must rule the left eye. Whereas for women, moon will rule the right eye and sun will rule the left eye. Okay, and that depends normally it depends on what handed you are. If I am right-handed, the sun rules my right eye as a man. Okay, now a problem arises. What happens if a man is actually left-handed? Then the dominant eye is not the right eye but the left eye. Did you know that? There is a direct connection between your hand and your eye. So my left eye is connected to my left hand and my right eye is connected to my right hand. So if my right hand is more dominant as a man, the sun must be on my right eye. Whereas somebody who is a left-handed man who is left-handed, his sun is in the left eye. So keep that in mind. It's not just about man, woman, it's also about right-handed and left-handed. So a woman who is right-handed will have the moon in the right eye. A woman who is left-handed will have the moon in the left eye. The dominant hand will hold the creation planet. The quality about the third eye. Human beings have a third eye, the eye of wisdom. And that eye of wisdom is in the middle of the forehead, and it is what we call the Agya Chakra. This is where the center of the eye is Agni. Ram is there, and that great intelligence develops from there. And this is very, very developed indriyas. our indriyas are extremely well developed. Because of this extremely well developed indriyas, we can do more indriya bhoga. We can have better uh, balance. For example, somebody may say dogs have tremendous smell. Most animals have very good smell. Okay, but what about their brains? They don't even have 10% of your brains. So Manushya is a creature with more light, more knowledge, some wisdom, but very, very intelligent. And this Ram descended to the Nabhi. It descended to the Nabhi. And that is where you as a human being were planted. You were not originally planted in the Bhu. Your original planting happened over here in the Nabhi, navel. Keep that in mind. And since this is the third chakra from the bottom we have Muladhara first, then we have Swadhisthana, and then we have Manipura, where this Swa or Swarga is there. So therefore you are planted inside the womb of your mother. Your soul entered in the third month of pregnancy. So so only for human beings, till the third month, it's just a piece of meat. It is only in the third month that the soul enters. Whereas for other animals, the soul enters in the second month. That is assuming it's a 9-month pregnancy. Otherwise, you have to relatively do plus minus. You got to calculate it. Say, for example, any other creature that has a 9-month pregnancy, the soul of that animal will enter in the second month. Okay, that's how we do the mathematics. Now, what brought this energy down? Who planted us in this navel? That was the Klimbija. Klimbija is what planted us in the navel in the third month. And that is why, there's a stotra called the Madhusudana Stotra. In that stotra, it says, Garbhavasam Mahadukha Trahima Madhusudana. So they're praying that I know you have put me you are going to put me again back in the navel of another mother. But please, Madhusudana, that is Krishna, please have some mercy on me. Don't put me back. I don't want to come back to this Bhuloka. Garbhavasam Mahadukha, the greatest sorrow that the soul is going to see is lying in that filth. Lying in the filth of the womb. That's where he's going to poo. That's where he's going to do everything. It's a very, very dirty place. It's very painful. All that the mother is eating, all that, he's experiencing that. He should not be experiencing that. So Klim Bija, this is the sound which planted us. I see. So why was I planted here? What karmas did I do by which I got planted? Say the sound, Klim, 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 and you'll find out. Okay, now we are going to go into the Jyotish, in which I am going to give you a very, very basic level of one of my favorite topics, the Jaimini Maharishi's Upadesha Sutras. In the Sutra 3.1.6, he says, I'm not going to give the sutra here because this is a public forum. I'm not allowed to do that. If a Raj Yoga has association of A Shani, that is Saturn, and B Ketu, so there is a Raj Yoga or there is some yoga, and Shani and Ketu are also involved, the native lords over animals like elephants, horses, and others. This is what the sutra says. Now, let us try to understand it. Why these two planets have been chosen? Ketu indicates headless behavior. Ketu is headless, Rahu has lots of heads, but Ketu is headless and can be trained to commands. It can be trained. It is headless, but it can be trained. That means some kind of a head I can give to it. I can make its head function. Okay, so the training is being done by Ketu. So Ketu rules army also, no? Army, what is the most important thing about army? Discipline. And what is discipline? Comes from training. Without training, there is no discipline. So Ketu believes in training, Ketu believes in command, Ketu believes in discipline. Okay. Now we come to the next one. Saturn symbolizes all servants, anyone who is going to serve, including beasts of burden. Any creature who is serving is symbolized by Saturn. Simple as that. So that is why these two planets were picked up by Gemini. So association should be by Rashi Drishti, indicating natural ability. So if there is a Rashi Drishti, that means you have a natural ability for dealing with animals or commanding or controlling. You could become a control freak. But then that is you. Who is a control freak? A control freak is one who is too busy trying to control people around them, instead of directing these energies to animals or to training or to better things. You see my point? That means you have been given an ability. If the yoga in which you are born, let's say you have a yoga, Raj Yoga, and that Raj Yoga has the association of Ketu and Shani. So Ketu indicates you can do very good training. You can impart discipline. You can impart, commands so that people learn the command properly. I mean, that's your ability. Without training, they don't really become an army. You can create an army. That is what Ketu is. It gives you that ability. And Saturn, well, you will get the people who will take up this responsibility. So association should be by Rashi Drishti to indicate natural ability, or can be learned through a desire if there is a strong Graha Drishti. So Graha Drishti shows a desire. This desire can be converted into something bigger. But really a Rashi Drishti is automatic. It just happens. So this yoga gives servants, both people and animals, who are headless and made willing. Saturn is enslaving them to carry out commands. It's easy, right? Simple to understand. Now, for those of you who don't know Rashi Drishti, I have a small picture on the right hand side. It's from Aries. You see, Aries is a movable sign. Now, dual signs. Now, let's see the first rule. Dual signs aspect each other. Pisces is dual, Virgo is dual, Gemini is dual, and Sagittarius is dual. These signs are aspecting each other. You see that? They are the corner signs. In this square block diagram, these are the corner signs. Okay? The Chara Rashi aspects Sthira Rashi, excepting the one adjoining. Chara Rashi. So let's take Aries. Aries is here. The guy sitting in Aries is sitting in the east. This is the east. And right opposite him is Scorpio. You see that in the block diagram? So Scorpio is right opposite, bang opposite, and that is called Abhimukha and Sammukha. Sammukha is that which is bang opposite, Abhimukha is that which is favorite. And the other two drishtis, now, so from Aries, he's looking at Scorpio. Is Scorpio a fixed sign? Sthira Rashi? Yes. So Aries can look at Scorpio as per Rashi Drishti rules. Now, Aries, let's take a diagonal. Diagonal will go to Leo. You see that? Diagonal will not go to Cancer. If you look at it, the diagonal from Aries will go to Leo. It's visibly, intuitively, you can see this. Okay? And is Leo a fixed sign? Yes. This rule number 2. Another diagonal from here will come to Aquarius. You can see that. 45 degrees, 45 degrees. And this is that a fixed sign? Yes. What is so all the 3 fixed signs. So Aries, which is a movable sign, can aspect 3 fixed signs. 1, 2, 3. See that? So every sign is able to aspect 3 signs, excepting the one near, adjoining. So which sign is adjoining Aries? It's Taurus. Taurus is a fixed sign which is adjoining Aries. So Aries cannot aspect Taurus. So therefore, planets in Aries will not be able to aspect planets in Taurus, whereas planets in Aries will aspect Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. So in this manner, movable signs aspect the fixed signs excepting the one adjoining. Similar rule for fixed signs. If you take Leo, you will see he will look back at Aries, diagonal. So it's a fixed sign. He is looking at all the movable signs, Chara Rashis, excepting the one adjoining. So Leo, for example, can look at Libra, Tula. He can look at Capricorn, Makara, movable, and he can look at Aries, another movable. But he cannot look at Cancer. So that's the simple rule. I will not dwell much on this. I need to go to the topic. And here is our first case of Moira Orfei. You can see that Moira was raised in a family who owned the circus company. So she was born in a family of the circus Orfei. Moira became the symbol of circus in Italy and attained international fame. You can see her over here in a picture. She has raised her hand. So these elephants now are doing nice tricks. This one has got up on a stool over here. The other one, you can see that circus elephants. She was an expert. She specialized with elephants. And which planet were to rule an elephant? They say it's Jupiter. And we have Jupiter exalted in Lagna. So wow, Jupiter is going to make her famous. How interesting. And so we can say that if Jupiter is exalted, then it could be elephant. She said she's very, very good at, but that is not sufficient. That means everybody with a Jupiter exalted in Lagna will be expert to deal with elephants. No, that is not true. I need Saturn and Ketu. Don't forget that. Turagadi yoga is Saturn. Let's look at Saturn. Saturn is in Sagittarius, which is a dual sign. He can look at other planets in dual signs. And Ketu is in Virgo in a dual sign. So Saturn and Ketu are aspecting each other. You see that? Because Saturn and Ketu are aspecting each other, this yoga has been initiated. That means whatever yoga she is having, the animal yoga is strong. Of course, some of you will say that Saturn is Atma Karaka, which is giving her this natural ability, and this is a natural ability in her soul level. So she's at a soul level connection with the animals. Wow. So there are other yogas. You can see Charakaraka, Putra Karaka upgraded into Raj Yoga. What is most important is Lagna Lord is in the 10th house, promises Siddhi, expertise. And this expertise will come with things which are in Lagna. If there is nobody in Lagna, then the expertise will be given by the Lagnesh. You see my point? Siddhi means expertise. Siddhi will come from it comes in tens, but basically it's your ability. So your ability is your Lagna. If there is no planet in the Lagna, then it is the moon that would have given her. Maybe she would have been a great chef. But it's not the moon that is giving this, it is the Jupiter. But one more condition is here which you must know. Rahu indicates all animals. All animals in general are indicated by Rahu. And the particular animal in which you will have expertise will depend upon where Rahu is placed. Here Rahu is in a sign of Jupiter and Jupiter is exalted in Lagna. Now this sign of Jupiter, this particular sign, Pisces, is associated with elephants. Very interesting. So Rahu in Pisces brings elephants into the picture, whereas Rahu in Sagittarius will bring monkeys into the picture. Ah, you thought Sagittarius was the elephant. No, Sagittarius is monkey. For example, take Shri Ram. Shri Ram was fully supported by the monkey army. You can see Shri Ram also had Jupiter exalted in Cancer, Lagna, but he had Rahu in Sagittarius. So it was the monkeys who supported him, whereas she is supported by the elephants. Did you see the difference? So she was photographed in various scenes as a rider, trapeze artist, acrobat, tamer of elephants, and trainer of doves. Where do birds come from? Birds are coming from the sun. Sun is the one that flies in the sky. and all birds follow the sun. In the first light of the sun, they will wake up and you can hear the birds chat. They will just start chattering and making noises. And you see, they are directly linked to the sun. The sun gives them a very, very powerful GPS. We all have a natural GPS, and our natural GPS comes from the sun. Directions, places, memories, directions to place, everything is the sun. So birds are very, very strongly associated with the sun. And you can see this Turaga Yoga of Saturn Ketu has an association with the sun. But why doves? Maybe they are friendly birds. That's Mercury, right? Maybe. I'm not going into that. What do you need to learn now? Sun is involved. Maybe it can indicate birds. It can also indicate lions. Huh? So as such, here's a chart where the yoga has functioned very well. Let's take a look at another one. If Jupiter is strong in Lagna, a huge benefit from animals indicated by the sign occupied by Rahu. This is village astrology. You want to take it with a pinch of salt at least. Next chart, Mark Gebel, circus performer and noted family. This whole family is famous for circus. Houston, great animal trainer. Mark learned the business from his dad. Atmakaraka Saturn. Now, those of you who are interested in Atmakaraka, if the Atmakaraka is Saturn, you will learn the business from your father or from your paternal lineage, that is father, uncle, or a stepfather or somebody like that. That is very important thing to understand about Saturn Atmakaraka. Just one point. So this is Saturn Atmakaraka and Saturn is in Aries. So which signs do we have to look at? You have to look at Leo, fixed sign. Ketu is there. There you go. Saturn Ketu Yoga, again circus performer. See, without this yoga, a person should not bother about working with animals in a circus or working with animals at all. I need this yoga to work with animals. Otherwise, you cannot train animals. It's not possible. You don't have a natural ability if it's not there in the chart. And in 1990, the father gave the job to his son. He works with elephants, horses, and in 99, tigers. He is very good with tigers. What makes him so good with tigers? Is it the sun over there? Sun in Leo? Maybe. Or maybe when the sun is an own sign, I should be looking at Mars. It's more like Mars result, huh? Because tigers are big cats. They come from Aries. See, Aries, cats, mice, they all come from Aries. And tiger is definitely a cat. Okay? Lion is not a cat. Lion is different. You put a cat picture and a lion picture, they are not similar. Okay? Whereas you put a cat and a tiger picture, you know, one is definitely oversized. That's all. So there is a lot of other points out here that I have made about status and positions and all that. And he inherited this business. This was his father's. Look at the 8th house of inheritance. This yoga is involving the 8th house of inheritance. So this thing was inherited from his father. How interesting. It fits the bill. It fits like a T. So because it is aspecting the Lagna, now you see what is Lagna? It's a movable sign. And so this fixed sign Leo is aspecting Lagna. And what is Saturn? It is Lagna Lord. So the Lagna Lord is getting this inheritance of Ketu from the father, and that's exactly his life. That becomes his life. Your path. So this interesting. The beauty about Gemini is he gives something very simple, extremely simple. But these simple things are very, very strong. So next time I look at a chart of any circus performer, let's say the person says, I actually am very good at dealing with, uh, let's say, elephants. I said, okay, fine, show me your chart. All I have to do is to look for Saturn Ketu. This is where I will start. Saturn Ketu. This is where I will start. If this yoga is not there, this can't be your business. Maybe you have dogs in the house. We'll come to that. But it cannot be your business. This is the chart of his father. Once again, you find Saturn in Cancer, sorry, Aquarius, and Ketu in Cancer. You see that? So from a fixed sign, Saturn is looking at Cancer, which is a movable sign, and vice versa. His father was the first one to start really working with tigers. The tiger, he was a famous animal tamer, absolutely famous. Elephants, tigers, giraffe, leopard, birds. I mean, you name the creature, his dad could do that. You know why? Because this is his ninth house. This is his dharma. What is dharma? Did I not? Did you not learn in Jyotish that the ninth house is the house of higher learning, superiority? Your superior learning is coming from the ninth house. We say that's why you go to college and you pick up a subject to specialize. It's not school anymore. You have to show in which area you are superior. So that's why we go to the ninth house for college. So this is a superiority, Saturn with Ketu. The rest of it you can read from the slide. I will leave it here because now, something very interesting happened. He did not naturally go there. His Lagna Lord Mercury is exalted in the fourth, it is with the moon. So what happened is during World War, his father goes missing in Russia. By the way, he was on the German side. And so these Germans went to Russia. I mean, absolutely wrong number out there. And the father went missing. He and his mom had no options but to take up work. So he and his mom, look, Lagna Lord in the fourth with the moon. You see that? Moon is there with the Lagna Lord. So he and his mom went to the circus, Williams in Germany. And the Williams took a liking for him. They brought him up as a son and made him the animal trainer. When he was 18 years of age, so basically Williams becomes like a stepfather for him. You see that? He becomes like a stepfather. Okay? And look at this man's loyalty. Moon Atma Karaka, most loyal. Absolutely loyal. Moon Atma Karaka is the most loyal. Look at the loyalty of this person. He does not give up. He takes over the responsibility, runs the circus, and takes on the additional name Gebel Williams. So he became Gunther Gebel Williams. You see the Williams added? That's not his dad. That is his stepdad, who really taught him how to look after animals and all. So 18 years he died. Now he takes care, and finally this circus, this Ringling brothers, they come, they see the circus, they want to buy him. He refuses to leave the circus. So they had to buy the whole circus, and that is how they all went to America, went to Florida, in fact. And then the rest is history. This guy made history. It's absolutely superb. Look at this picture on the side. When I saw this picture, I could not believe it. He makes an elephant stand on a stool. Then he makes a tiger jump on that elephant, and that elephant allows it. And then he jumps on that tiger. This is incredible, man. You see that? What a yoga. Saturn and Ketu with this Ketu Mars, fearless. Ketu Mars, absolutely fearless. Okay, now we go to animals and man. I mean, how does man interact with animals generally as a being? Domestication is a socio-biological process that happens over the course of many generations. See, when we say an animal is a domestic animal, it is not something that has happened overnight, or you train some animal and it has become domestic. No, domestication takes years and years of living with human beings. Just because you got a tiger into the zoo from the wild doesn't mean that it has got domesticated. Elephants are not domestic. It involves the adaptation of a species to humans. They have to fully adapt to humans, become a part of the human society and its captive environment. They have to accept that this is their destiny and this is how all they are. Like when an elephant, or let's say when a dog looks at you, he knows he doesn't, I mean, he can see other dogs. He knows he doesn't look like you. So that is, he knows the difference between you and him. And so he knows that you are master and he is not. You see that? Over generations, this has happened. So the moment a dog is again born to a dog in the man's world, it is born into captivity. It's like slaves, you know. Before Abraham Lincoln, when a slave gave birth to a child, the child was a born slave. He was a part of the property of the rancher. Just like that, animals that are born to man are slaves in captive. So, but elephants are not domesticated, although their timid nature, antics in circuses and temples may make people believe so. You cannot domesticate an elephant. That is not possible. They are very faithful, absolutely faithful animals. Animals are actually more faithful than man, but they cannot be domesticated. Circle animals are mainly no domestic captive animals. Okay. Now, when we look at the horoscope of a man and his interaction with animals, the houses we need to look at is just about 5 houses really, to see what is his interest with the animals. If the 3rd and 11th houses are involved, it's for traveling. You know, maybe you got a horse, you want to ride the horse to work. Okay. And the 11th house, in addition, has got security responsibilities. So the 11th house can have a double responsibility for travel as well as security. So you got to keep that in mind. Whereas the 6th house animal is purely for security, absolutely security. Or maybe for competitions, you know, like greyhounds for racing, security and also for competition. 4th house is basically food and medicine, 4th and 8th. So for example, when we talk of pigs, I mean, I can't imagine a pig being somebody keeping a pig in the house for security. It's either for food or for medicine. Not for travel. You can't ride a pig. So like that, you know, these are the primary houses I'm going to look at for why you have kept the animal, or what is your connection. Do you really like animals, or it's a business? I mean, what is it? Here is a chart of Murray Ayers. Where is Ketu? Again, I'm going to do Saturn Ketu. Oh my God, I got obsessed with this sutra. Ketu is in Scorpio. Okay, movable signs. No, Saturn is not in Capricorn. Saturn is not in Aries. Saturn is in Cancer. So Ketu and Saturn are aspecting each other. And natural ability is there in this chart. The chart has a natural ability for dealing with animals. Okay, now here this Saturn has conjoined Mercury also. Mercury has come into the picture, and Mercury is showing friendly animals, extremely friendly. You can kick them, they will still come and lick your feet. Very, very friendly. Now I need a connection with this Ketu and the Lagna Lord, or Saturn and the Lagna Lord. The Lagna Lord is the Sun. It does not seem to have any connection with Ketu or Saturn. excepting for the fact that Ketu, dispositor of the first Lord Sun in the 11th house of security. How is that? How is that? How is that? Now who is the dispositor of Ketu? That is Mars. Mars is in the first house. I see. So dispositor of Ketu is in Lagna. So that is connection number one. Connection number one. Connection number two, Lagna Lord has gone to the 11th house, security or travel, security or travel, and its dispositor is Mercury, which has come here. So that is how I am getting it. Professional dog trainer and minor actress from age 17 in film, stage and TV and all that. Adopted child, worked for years as a dog trainer and put out a video on dog training in the 91. Excellent. So did you see the security? Lagna Lord in 11th house. Lagna Lord in 11th, Lagna Lord in 3rd. This is very, very good. Very good for dogs. Natural. You are absolutely natural with, sorry, Lagna Lord in 11th and 6th would be very good with dogs. Security. Dogs are security animals. Here's another one. This is Bruno Pouginier. I think it's French. Yeah. This is Gemini Lagna. Lagna Lord has gone to 6th house. Straight shot connection. Okay. Lagna Lord has gone to 6th house. But Ketu and Saturn don't seem to be having any connection at all. It's okay if they don't have connection, provided the Lagna Lord can connect to both of them. Saturn is aspecting the Lagna Lord Mercury, and Ketu is the dispositor of the Lagna Lord Mercury. So the Lagna Lord Mercury, see, what is important is the Lagna Lord. It is the Lagna or the Lagna Lord that is important. It's your brain, your ability. So your Lagna here, the Lagna Lord has got the dispositor, has gone to a house of Ketu and is aspected by Saturn. So these two are working on him. There you go, the connection is made. But a stronger connection is in that it's in Scorpio. Look at Mercury, he's in Scorpio and in Anuradha Nakshatra of Saturn. So now we learn something new, that this Nakshatra Anuradha is very good with animals because it is the house of Ketu and the nakshatra of Saturn over there. Wow. So we have found one nakshatra in the zodiac which is very good with animals. He's a French champion dog trainer, and you can see here in the racing, his dogs are racing out here. The next chart I have for you is that of Mary Fletcher. You can see this cow over here. Mary was incredible. Ketu, Saturn in Lagna. Come on. I don't need to say anything anymore. Lagna Lord is in 11th house. Hey, Lagna Lord is in 11th house. That should give me either what? Security or travel. Why am I looking at something? Because this Mercury is under the influence of Venus and the Sun. And you know the nature of Mercury? Whenever he is with somebody, he changes. When Mercury is sitting with the Sun will say, did you know the Earth is flat? Mercury says, of course, you told me earlier. That's Mercury. He's just agreeing because he's a very agreeable guy. He just agrees because he doesn't want to have conflict. So he agreed with the Sun. And Sun is the 12th Lord, so it's not a problem. But what about Venus? Here, Venus is the 3rd Lord, should be again trouble. So how do I get cows over here unless the 4th house or the 8th house is involved? Anybody think about it? It is in Cancer, maybe. Maybe I can say that Mercury is in Cancer. And if I take a little more, see, maybe that is the connection. Mercury is in Cancer, aspected by the moon. I can also say that the 4th Lord Mars is aspecting Mercury. So you see there are two factors coming in. The Karaka for cows is moon, and Mars, the Lord of the 4th, food. Ranch women raised citrus and cattle. Starting with one, grew a herd of 250 milk strain cows. all named. She named every single cow. She treated them as individuals with respect and love, all named and responsive to Mary's kindness as pets. They were all responsive to her. It is not just, but unfortunately for her, there are three events. This is something homework. You need to work on this. 34, her son died of meningitis. In the same year, husband John died. And a few years later, and many years later, daughter Virginia died in a fire. She saw three deaths: death of her son, death of her daughter, death of her husband. That is sad. That is perhaps because of other reasons. I need you to study this. It's not a part of today's lecture. Now we have the next chart, Richard Dare. This guy is a German. Where is Saturn? Saturn is the Lagna Lord, exalted. Wow. And Saturn and Ketu are in Rashi Drishti. Saturn is a movable sign. Ketu is in a fixed sign, Leo, not next to him. So they are in Rashi Drishti. It's a straight shot combination for looking after animals. Saturn is Lagna Lord and Ketu is aspecting the Lagna. See, Ketu is in Leo. The Capricorn is a movable sign. So the yoga is complete. Animals will help him go up in life. Poor pig breeder. He was a poor guy. He was a very poor guy. He was breeding pigs and selling pigs. Later, with great difficulty, he qualified as an agriculturist in 1922. And with the blessing of the pigs, mark my words, blessing of the pigs, he became an army officer in the World War I. And then later on, during the Third Reich, he was the agricultural expert and the head of the organization of German farmers. So he was responsible of the entire food for the German army. For 12 years, he was the head. He was the chief of the SS Central Office for Race and Resettlement. This racism, extremism, from where did that come? Anyway, how do I get a pig over here? Moon in Pisces. I see. Well, but Pisces definitely shows pigs, that I know. Or maybe Rahu, some people say. I don't know. Pisces definitely shows pigs. Okay. Okay, you got that? And this is a person who loves cats. Let us see, is he natural with animals or what? I mean, can he go into the profession? Saturn is in Libra again, exalted, which is very good, but does not, but Ketu is also in a movable sign. So Saturn cannot aspect Ketu by Rashi Drishti. So it is not, and he does not have a natural ability with animals. But Saturn does aspect Ketu by Graha Drishti. So there is a desire to learn and to train them. You see that? The desire factor is there. And I need the Lagna Lord's involvement. Okay, let's look at the Lagna Lord. Lagna Lord has gone to a house of Ketu and is in Anuradha Nakshatra, which is a nakshatra of Saturn. Done. So the Lagna Lord's sun is in a house of Ketu and a nakshatra of Saturn. Excellent. But the natural ability is not there. So what kind of an animal does he like? What does his mind want? Liking is coming from your mind, huh? Not from your Lagna, by the way. It's not a decision making thing. It is a question of what you like, your preferences, which is the moon, the emotional moon, right? Moon is in Aries, and I told you earlier, Aries is about cats and rats. I don't think it's a good idea to keep mice or rats as pets. So he kept a beautiful cat. You see, he's a famous cat. Everybody knows about his cat Smokey because Robert is a famous actor. Those of you who have seen Star Trek Voyager will probably know him. Okay, this I have done. And we are done with today's slideshow. So with this, I will hand over to to Sonal. Where is Sonal? Where are you, Sonal?
Thank you,
Can you?
Guruji.
Yes, please. Please take over.
Yes, thank you very, very much. We do have 3 questions here.
Can I take a minute's break and
Yes, of
join you?
course, of course. Yes, Guruji. Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much. It was brilliant.
Thank you.
Guruji, can we put the Shiva, Lord Shiva's picture so that I can take a photo, please?
Sure. Let me
Lord
go
Shiva.
to. I have to
Thank you.
share my screen. Yeah, share the screen. Yeah, this one.
I just missed it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Namah Shivaya.
Go ahead.
One.
I think I should stop sharing the screen so that Sonal can do that, you know. Sonal, you are
Okay.
there?
Yes,
Thank you.
I am. Yes, Guruji.
Yeah.
So, okay, we have a few interesting questions. Well, the very first question that came was which cats are cats are ruled by whom? And I think we've already answered. Guruji's already answered that. It's the sign of Aries. And the other interesting question would be, what are the nimittas associated with daily animals? Theo, any idea?
Hi, I think that question is more about, if you, does Guruji have any, nimittas to share with us about seeing animals? Because some people repeatedly see animals, often.
You, as in daily lives, or is it like
Yeah, like
in
in
their
your daily life.
dreams or
Yeah,
something? Yeah,
could be
that's
also in
interesting.
dreams. And what are any nimittas that Guruji knows that he would like to share with people that may be auspicious or otherwise?
Yeah. And the third question, we'll come back to that question. And the third question is, can we apply this yoga to the Ishta Devta or Kula Devta? For example, Sagittarius 12th house from Karakamsha could be Shiva in the form of monkey, hence Hanuman. Yeah, I think we could sort of apply there. You know, it makes sense. As Guruji says, Hanuman would be represented by the Rashi of Dhanu. So, and there is another
Yes.
question. Yeah, Theo?
Oh, no, it's fine. You are getting the rest of the questions. That's good.
Yeah. Does this apply for veterinarians? I would imagine veterinarians would be doctors healing sort of animals, and I think anything to do with animals, they would need either probably Lagna Lord somewhere involved in the 6th house, as Guruji mentioned, or some variation of the Ketu Shani theme. So I would imagine, yes, it would be applied to veterinary doctors as well. And then we have a final question of which sign signifies which animals. Theo, I think we've identified 3 key. As per Gemini, we are aware that Aries is cats, and big cats and
Yes.
small cats. Then we come to, and as Guruji mentioned, Cancer would be cows. I would imagine even Taurus would be cows, right? Cows and buffalo.
Yeah, there was something I read somewhere, and maybe this goes to the last question there, question 6. that the animals of the bhava and animals of the rashi may be different. So we talked about a bull versus a cow, so second bhava and second and Taurus. So maybe Guruji would like to comment about that.
Okay, and Gemini, I know he identifies as the sign for Garuda and for birds. So we will have to ask him to elucidate on that one. And then Leo, of course, is lion. And then we come to Virgo, which would be
Yeah, I'm back. Sonal?
yes,
Yeah.
Guruji. We are going through some of the signs representation for the animals, and I think we reached till Virgo. We inferred that Taurus and Cancer would probably be like cows and buffaloes.
Buffaloes, no. Buffaloes
No.
would come in, I think, Capricorn.
Oh, so the famous Nandi, Guruji, would be Capricorn?
No, Nandi is not a buffalo. Nandi is a cow.
No, but
I mean,
would it?
Nandi is an
Okay,
ox. It's an ox. Cows
ox.
are, cows are in Cancer.
Yeah,
Cows are in
and
Cancer. Ox is there in bull. The bull, the bull is definitely there in the Taurus.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we thought. Okay.
See, even in one family, what we tend to do, the mistake we make is we put all of them together because they look similar, but there's a
Yeah,
lot of difference in them, right? And
right.
we know the function of each animal. For example, when you talk of buffalo, buffaloes are more dangerous than lions. There is a debate: are lions more dangerous or buffaloes more dangerous?
Wow.
So how can you put buffalo in Cancer? I mean, Cancer will indicate something very docile, very sweet, very nice.
And associations with milk, of course.
Milk, look, even buffalo has milk. Even a camel has milk. Human beings have milk. Come on, please. Milk.
Uh,
You can't do that.
Guruji, there was another question about veterinarians, people that work with animals, but maybe not, they're not training animals as such. They're not using animals as, servants, so, captivity, but they're helping animals.
Yeah,
Does that also fall under this?
vets, definitely. We have to check the difference between one vet and another will be whether vets actually have a natural ability. I mean, have they do they? See, you can go to a vet school and learn it, but if you don't have a natural ability, you will not be that good in that subject. You see my point? Graha Drishti can probably give you some knowledge. Maybe in your D10 chart, you have some combinations by which you went and learned this. But for that, you will need more rather than just Saturn and Ketu. You will need medical combinations for medical knowledge. That's fine.
Right.
But Saturn and Ketu is required. No? In the first place, you should have this desire to see. You should not. There are many people who are scared of dogs that the dog will bite me. How can they become a vet?
Right.
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 So think about it. The vet does not have fear of animal. The vet does not think that if I go and hang around animals, I'll get dirty. See my point? So those things. So this combination is for dealing with all animals. It's a sutra. A sutra means it will work everywhere. I mean, if you have some chart of a vet, let me check. Maybe I should have added that also. Good. Yeah. What are the other questions? So get the point.
Guruji,
Let's
yeah.
charts.
Okay. So there's also another extension extending from the other one is a famous defenders of animal rights. Can we see this particular yoga in the chart?
These famous defenders of animal rights may not have worked with animals at all. They may be very good lawyers and they may be using it as a cause.
We could look at Menka Gandhi.
Menaka Gandhi. Okay, let's look at Menaka Gandhi. Let me share my chart. Good. Let me just open up a chart. Good.
Yeah, like Bridget Bardot and Pamela Anderson.
Okay, where is I need to share the screen. Can you see the chart of Maneka Gandhi?
Yes.
Okay, let me see Saturn. Saturn is in Scorpio. Come on.
Yeah.
And where is Ketu? It's in the 7th house. So basically there is a Graha Drishti over here. There is a desire over here. Okay. You see the desire? Saturn Ketu? It's a Graha Drishti. Shani is looking at Ketu, right? Planetary aspect. And on top of that, this Saturn is in the 5th house of power, position, authority. So therefore, she is utilizing these animal thing for her political power.
Shani is in Anuradha as well.
Let me see that.
Yes.
Exactly. Ah, brilliant. Yes. You see that? Now you know where to look. The whole thing about this particular lecture was, you know where to look. Shani is in Anuradha. Absolutely. Even that Rahu is there in Anuradha with him.
Yeah.
Rahu is all about politics. So she has made politics out of this. And yes, it works. It works. She's done a good job. All said and done. She stopped, we used to have bear dances. People would come from the villages with a bear, with a collar around a bear's neck, and the bear would dance. Monkey dance is over. Bear dance is over. Snake charmers are only in villages. They dare not come to cities, get arrested. Yeah, she's done that. You're right. It works. So the yoga is there and it works. But it is a desire. You see, Saturn is aspecting Ketu. It is not a natural Rashi Drishti. If Saturn would have been in Cancer, oh, it would be absolutely natural. She would have a natural ability. She would herself go towards the animal and pet them and really do things. Okay. Okay. What
Yeah.
was the other question?
Guruji, they want to know signs associated, the animals associated with each sign. So we established that Leo would be lion, as you mentioned earlier.
What else? What else? What else?
And it's
Don't
Virgo. What about Virgo?
What about Leo? What else is there in Leo? See, that is what you got to think. You got to learn to think outside the border. It's not just what is easily there. For example, I just told you cats and mice are in Aries, right? And
Yes.
then by thinking outside the border, we got tiger also, because the tiger is actually an overgrown cat. But it's not a lion, because the lion is absolutely different. Lion will not attack if his area is Mars. You see, Aries is Mars. Mars is all about property, area. So if their area is threatened, these creatures attack. That is about Aries. Okay. And then we come to Taurus. Taurus are basically, they are fixed at the spot. This is my spot, my chair. A typical Taurus person. A lot of planets in Taurus. Have you seen how they talk? This is my chair. Go sit in your chair. That's a Taurus talking. So like that. An ox, think of the ox or the bull. Once he sits down, it's impossible to make him get up. I mean, if you live in India, you will see a car, all the cars, it sits right in the middle of the road in India. And all cars have to go all around him. The guy is just sitting there and munching. He doesn't give a damn. So that is Taurus, typically. So think of Gemini like that. Gemini is wind, right? Wind. And Mercury is fast and high. He is like the ninth from Libra. Libra is the seat of the wind. So they're like the king of the birds. All the birds which can fly very, very high, like eagles. So some of them come over there. What other animal did you get in Gemini?
Garud. Great
Yeah,
Garud.
that's eagle. Yeah. And then, so like this, you have to think. Virgo is the fields. What do you get in the field? Don't you have snakes in the fields?
Yes.
Right. So Sarpa is there. Where is the snake? It is in Virgo in the 6th house.
Okay.
You don't. That's where the snakes live. They live in the fields.
Yes.
Then come to Libra. What is the animal over there? Most important animal. Think about it. Have you heard of an animal called man? Yeah, men are in
Yes.
Libra. Men are basically in Libra. You look at a marketplace. Which creature
Yes.
dominates the marketplace where things
Men.
are being exchanged? That sort of a place, a crowded places. Always it's men. Men always stay in crowds. They never stay alone. Very, very, only a person, we talk of man is the most social of creatures. We live big cities, big societies we have made so that we can huddle up and live together and have big market. The bigger the market we see, the more successful we are. That's typical man. Man is a Libra. Then think of other animals over there, please. Okay. Then come to Scorpio. Lizards.
Lizards, yes.
All the lizards and other any creature which is holding poison in the mouth. For example, those Indonesian things, what are they called? Komodo dragons. Have you heard of Komodo dragons?
Yes. Huge. Some
Oh
of them
my
are huge.
God. And do you know how fast they can run?
Yes.
So think about, so as a homework, then we come to Sagittarius. Now, monkeys was something you just learned. Till now, you always thought of Sagittarius as half man, half horse. And you always placed horses in Sagittarius. Really? I thought horses are in Virgo. Why? Because horses, why do we need horses? Because they are fast. And which planet is fast? Moon is the fastest, no doubt. But after him, it's Mercury. So horses come under Mercury. And the exaltation of Mercury is the fastest horses. And of course, horses, you look at wild horses, they are always there where the grass is there, no? Zebra, Virgo, African horse. Okay, so what is there in Sagittarius other than monkeys? So you'll do some more homework over there. Good.
Gorillas.
Gorilla, yes, gorillas, apes. Now, what am I doing in Sagittarius? The more intelligent animals. See, monkeys are very intelligent, very clever fellow, clever monkey, we call it, right? Apes, very intelligent. There was a movie recently, I don't know whether you've seen that, Rampage. See that movie, you will see. They have taken the fact. Yeah, Netflix has it. Okay, so then we come to Capricorn. Crocodiles, yes, swampy areas full of crocodiles and other creatures also of the water, like, you know, sharks will come over there. Merciless killers. See, Capricorn does not have mercy. It's the debility of Jupiter. Merciless killers. And that's how they survive. Longest lived ones. The Capricorn and Aquarius. Turtles. The huge sea turtles.
Rhinoceros.
1,000 years. They come under Aquarius. Yeah, tell me.
Rhinoceros, somebody said.
Guruji, rhinoceros.
Yes.
Yeah. Rhinoceros, the thick-skinned one. Yeah. One-horned rhinoceros of India. Yeah. We have that in Assam. Will that be Capricorn or yeah, that will be more Capricorn. Aquarius is tall mountains also.
What
Animals
about
tall.
dogs? Wild dogs.
Dogs is definitely Aquarius. Wolves, they come from wolves.
Ah, okay. Right.
Guruji, I want to pose one question to you.
Yeah.
Guruji, suppose if in my chart, Saturn and Ketu is having a Rashi Drishti. Saturn is in Virgo and Ketu is in Sagittarius, and my Lagna is in Libra. So, Guruji, I'm having a combination of this yoga, but I'm not keeping any animal. So would it be beneficial? How to know, sir, whether keeping an animal will be beneficial or not? Or what things shall I do? It shall bring luck to me?
Look at that one factor that I said, Lagna Lord. Is your Lagna Lord associated with this or not? If your Lagna Lord is not associated with the yoga, you stay away from the animal. But yes, if Saturn is in the 12th from your Lagna and it is aspected by Ketu, you should donate. 12th house is the house of donations. And it is Virgo. So donate some food for the animals or make some donations that for animal care. Nowadays, there's a lot of charity for cows. Go make the donation. See, if a planet is in the 12th house, you have to give something to appease that planet. Okay?
Okay, Guruji.
But if Shukra has nothing to do with Saturn or with Ketu, you have nothing to do with animals. But yes, you are not afraid of them because of the yoga. Okay?
Okay, Guruji. Thank you so much, Guruji.
Pleasure. Thank you. Okay, are we done with the questions?
Guruji, a couple of more, please. Someone's asked, what is the nimitta associated with daily animals?
Do you know what you're asking? Nimitta is a samhita, and that is books and books together. So every animal has nimittas. For that, we have to know all the animals, what they rule. We have to know the birds, what they rule. For example, if you see a crow, then you know it's Agni Tattva. So like that, you should know the nimittas. If you see a vulture, you know it's a Prithvi Tattva. If you see a peacock, it's Akash. Like that, you should know birds and the tattvas as well as the grahas, both. Not just because a bird can have a particular graha but a different tattva. That may not match that. So there's a lot to learn. There's a hell of a lot to learn about this in under Nimitta. Unless we have the basic uh, planets and the tattva together, then only we can use it. For example, crows. If you see a crow coming to the house again and again, that means we say Agni is sending a message for you. And Agni is normally connected to our forefathers. Because where is Agni coming from? Agni comes from Leo, the sun. We know that all heat and all light is coming from the sun as far as we are concerned. So it's coming from Leo. And what is Leo? What happens when the sun goes to Leo? We have a celebration in India called Pitri Paksha. Okay, so now when I see a crow, I say Agni. Oh, that means Pitri Paksha. My Pitris are trying to tell me something. I must feed the crow. So by feeding the crow, I am satisfying the Pitris. It's like doing a Shraddha. Instead of doing a Shraddha every day, I can simply feed a crow. If a crow comes in my dream, that means I am going to get a direction, because Agni has to do with light and light has to do with direction. You see the story of the Bible, Noah's Ark, when there was water all around, what guided Noah? Who guided Noah? It was a raven, and raven is a crow family. Agni, you see that? Agni is the power to see. Because they have the power to see, they will give directions. I have a friend in California, Jack, right? And Jack, when he was going from the East Coast to the West Coast, there was a stage in his life when his life had everything had finished. And he just started the car, put his things inside his big van, started and just drove. He said, let me drive out of the city. I'm not going to stay in New York anymore. And he started moving to the west. And there was a crow there all the time. And the crow was flying west. So wherever he traveled, the crow was flying ahead of him. And right up to California, the crow was there with him. Today he settled in California. That's where the crow stopped. It's interesting. People believe that crows don't make long journeys. In India, it has been proved that all these crows, they go to a particular place in the Himalayas to die. Did you know that? They just don't like to die anywhere. They go to the Himalayas and die over there. Okay, enough. Next.
Um,
Sonal? Sonal, are you here with me?
yes, I am, Guruji. I'm just looking. I think we are kind of almost done with the
Yeah.
questions here.
Yeah. Actually,
There was one question regarding Karakamsha. If we have a particular sign rule,
that's going too far. That's going too far.
yeah, I
Going too
thought that. Okay.
Yeah, that's going into Charakarkas and all that. Let's just keep it to the level where we are right now. Okay. Okay. Next
Yes.
question.
Guruji, I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
How are the Atmakarakas connected to the animals or the bird kingdom?
At the Atma level, there is no difference between you and the crow and the plant. Just no difference. There is no difference between you and the crow and the plant. There is no difference you and that little ant. There is just no difference. The difference is that your soul has better karmas, so you got the opportunity to come through the Manipura. So therefore, you have the advantage of Agni. They have only Prithvi and Jala to deal with. For them, it is only Bhur Bhuva. For us, it is Bhur Bhuva Swa. That is the difference. So we are connected to the animals. Every time we do bad to the animals, we are creating bad karmas for ourselves. It is simple as that. To think that the animals are lesser creatures. Okay, think about it. 300 years back, 300 or 350 years back, before Abraham Lincoln, all the black people of America were treated as slaves, and there was no difference between them and the animals. In fact, the animals got better treatment than these black people. So think about it. At that point of time, in America, somebody would think that no, I am superior, then my horse, and then my slave. Because if my horse dies, I'm in serious trouble, very, very serious trouble. But if my slave dies, I'll still manage. Did you see the difference? So a slave had a lower position than the animal. It was just ahankar. Only ahankar makes a man do these things. There is no difference. Our souls are the same. We are small sparks of light. That is what has been described. And we are all connected through karma. Entire connection is through karma. And that job is that of Vishnu. So I've told it in a very brief way. Okay? Good.
Okay. Thank you, Guruji. One
Thank you, Guruji.
last question, Guruji. Big fishes, small fishes, dolphins, they would be.
That
Obvious.
animal kingdom is so big, Sonal. Where do you want? All you have to think is study the animal. If you want to characterize them, you have to study them. We said dolphins are friendly. They are friendly to whom? To us, right? Are you sure? Yes, only if they know you, they are friendly to you. But as such, they are friendly to human beings. You know why? Because they have a very good sound, a very nice sonar system. Sound is very, very important for them. What does that tell us about the dolphin? Its Akash Tattva is high.
Correct.
Right? Whereas, like this, you have to study all the
Okay.
most powerful Akash among all the fishes is that of the whales. So whales and elephants are very similar. They're similar. They look after their children. They look after their family. They don't leave their kids behind. There's too much of Akash. It is Akash which is the binding factor. What binds people, what binds things is Akash. Akash is not just emptiness, there is magnetism. Magnetism is coming from the sun. Everything comes from the sun. But it is this magnetism which binds the soul to another soul. If the sun has magnetism inside, you you study the magnetism of the sun. What is the magnetism of the sun called in Sanskrit? Rudra. The magnetism of the sun is called Rudra. That is why the Pratyadi Devata of Surya is Rudra. Anyway, I will leave it here. I'm going too far. Okay, done. Chalo. Let's
Thank
call
you,
it a day.
Guruji.
It has been a pleasure. Thank you very much for joining me for this. I'll come again maybe in a future date. Thank you.